Hi, I'm Dr. Zoe, a licensed psychotherapist and relationship coach. The question I'm answering today is from a frustrated mama. She asked me, how can I parent my kids with positivity? She said her kids drive her crazy, they refuse to help her, they're mean to each other way too often, and that she finds herself complaining to them and about them. So dear mama, you and every other mother out there who cares at all about her parenting has asked a question like this at some point in her parenting journey. Not only is parenting the hardest job ever, it also requires you to have a different job description with each child, and that's enough to send you to the crazy bin just when you thought that you had figured it all out. And as a mom, I can see why you're drawn to positive parenting. It sounds beautiful, right? It sounds like a calm, happy, agreeable family all smiling at each other in harmony. But in reality, positive parenting may not always feel so positive, and that's okay. The basis of positive parenting is the belief that children deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. And I don't think any modern parent would disagree with that, but unfortunately it was a very new concept back in the 1900s. A psychologist named Alfred Adler was actually the person who coined this term, and he also cautioned parents not to swing in the complete opposite direction of over-coddling and indulging their children, because this creates a whole slew of problems that are potentially worse. And you might know some people like that. Basically, positive parenting encourages parents to be both compassionate and firm. A child refusing to help you when asked, assuming that he or she is completely capable of doing that, is really not acceptable, mostly because it isn't working for either one of you. Sometimes kids don't cooperate just because they don't feel like it and they want to see what they can get away with. We've all been there, right? Sometimes acting out is really an expression of anger or pain that needs to be recognized or explored. A kid who is misbehaving regularly is a discouraged kid who's trying to get your attention. Before you start feeling badly about yourself though, no mama is perfect. I have to apologize to my children on a regular basis, and this reminds them that I'm a beautifully flawed human just like they are. Your job is to dole out necessary consequences firmly and consistently while still being interested in why your child didn't want to listen in the first place, and making them feel respected in your family. And yes, you can do both. Discipline can be yielded in a quiet, positive way. It doesn't have to be disrespectful, hurtful, or damaging. I actually fired my 8-year-old daughter from dish duty last week, which also means that she lost her paycheck, her allowance. When I fired her, yes, I did use those words, she was angry and she told me that it wasn't fair. I calmly explained to her that my response was completely fair because it was a direct result of her not getting the work done that we had verbally contracted that she would do. I explained to her that whether you are an employee or an entrepreneur, you will get fired if you don't deliver. It's a tough, painful lesson, but it's not a damaging one. There is a difference. Reality is your child needs to learn how to function in the greater world, and the greater world does have consequences. None of the firm consequences are going to work at your home as you dole them out if your child's other needs aren't being met though. A child's main drive is to feel a sense of belonging and significance in their family. Blind obedience should never be the goal in parenting because you're losing sight of the care and relationship aspect. A child feels a sense of belonging and significance and empowerment when you show an interest and desire to understand their motivations, feelings, and meet their needs. So if you're complaining to your child about them, then they might not feel respected, and they may even wonder if they're too much for you. And that acting out and arguing could be a result of some of those feelings. After firing my daughter, I attempted to connect with her by talking to her about what was keeping her from getting the dishes done in the first place. And we brainstormed some options about what she could do to get her job back. And this helped turn this negative interaction into a growth one. I won't say positive, but definitely a growth one. So as you aim for positive parenting, it's important to try to have more positive interactions than negative ones in your parenting journey. So the simplest way to do this is to write down 3 to 5 positive qualities that you see in your child and find ways to encourage your child in that area. An easy rule of thumb is that for every negative interaction, purposefully create 3 positive interactions. And also aim to spend 15 minutes a day of undivided attention with your child. This goes a long way. And 15 minutes might seem like nothing, and you might be thinking, of course I spend 15 minutes with my child. But usually that's divided between other tasks or children, and you'll be surprised how 15 minutes of focused attention transforms your child. Consistency is also key. Consequence every rule violation, but don't consequence negative emotions, feelings, or even pouting. Instead, explore those with your child. And it's okay to vent. Please vent. Vent away. But vent to your healthy friends, to your therapist, people who can provide support, not to your kids. They don't need to hear about your parenting problems, especially because they're the cause of it. Listen, we were not meant to do this massive job of raising humans by ourselves, so make sure you're seeking support. If you're on Instagram, I suggest that you follow parenting expert and clinical psychologist, Dr. Ann-Louise Lockhart. I'll put her info somewhere, for daily encouragement for parenting with purpose and grace. You've got